Welcome to the lecture on the tragic comedy. The tragic comedy is a kind of romantic drama which developed during the closing years of the Elizabethan period. It is a combination of tragedy and comedy. During the Elizabethan times, there were tragedies which provides comic relief that heighten the tragic effect by contrast. Shakespeare's King Lear and Macbeth are examples. Similarly, in comedies like As You Like It and Much Ado About Nothing, there are tragic elements which help to enhance the effect of happy ending. Tragic comedy is a distinct form of drama in the sense that it is a total tragedy up to a certain point and a complete comedy thereafter. The compilation sets forth the tragic theme and at the end of the play turns into comedy. Shakespeare's Cymbeline and The Winter's Tale are good tragic comedies. The plot in the tragic comedy is a mixture of happiness and sorrow, torment and horror, hover in the air but are finally disappeared by an artificial happy ending. Characters undergo transformation, suddenly villains turn into gentlemen, and the serious atmosphere on the first part of the play changes into a mirthful one in the second half. The general atmosphere of fantasy is enhanced by the introduction of the supernatural and the pastoral as in The Tempest or The Winter's Tale. In ancient Greece, tragic comedy was not in fashion because they have given prior importance to unity of action, so they have neglected the mixture of tragic and comic. In England, tragic comedy was characterized by the pastoral element and romantic intrigue. Francis Beaumont and John Fletcher's play A King and No King were considered to be the first great tragic comedy in English. However, in Thomas Middleton's The Witch and The Spanish Gypsy and in Philip Massinger's The Roman Actor, the elements of tragic comedy were present. Some other writers of tragic comedies were Thomas Ford, William Shirley, and Sir William D. Arnett. By the middle of the 17th century, tragic comedy became so hopelessly unreal. The plots were full of artificial and the characters were no longer individualized. Thus, the scope of dramatic conception had reached its perfection in Shakespeare was weakened. Sir Philip Sidney was the earliest to condemn the tragic comedy and called it as mongrel. Milton calls it as the poet's error of intermixing comic stuff with tragic sadness and gravity. Addison called it as one of the most monstrous inventions that ever entered into the poet's thought. These people have given priority to unity of action, so they opposed it. After Philip Sidney, Milton and Addison, Dryden and Johnson defended their approach. They have given importance to tragic comedy. Dryden called it a more pleasant way of writing for the stage than was known to the ancients or moderns. Johnson couldn't find anything wrong in mixing pleasure with pain. To conclude, tragic comedy does not produce a ludicrous mixture of tears and laughter as some critics hold, but it is a delightful alternation or intersection of the two. The aesthetic beauty of this form can be seen from the fact that even Shakespeare had successfully used it in some of his greatest plays. Thank you so much.